In this video, I'll be sharing an updated Town Hall 13 attack strategy that is super easy and will have you tripling any base design. Of course, I'm talking about the Hydra attack. I have a couple different variations of this attack to show today. Make sure to check them all out before deciding which one is best for you. The basic troop composition is here. So we have 6 balloons, 8 dragons, a baby dragon, and 4 dragon riders. The spells, 2 clones, 5 invis. In the clan castle, obviously the blimp with a rage spell and 3 super archers. It's important not to fill your blimp with any other troops because we don't want to clone those by accident. You might notice I don't have a lava hound in this composition, but more on that later. We will, however, be making some changes to it as we go through the different variations. The hero equipment I'll be using is here. Now, the good thing about this strategy is all 5 heroes are interchangeable. What that means is you can always have one upgrading and just alter the strategy slightly to make it work with the other 4 heroes. If you do have all 5 heroes available though, what's the best combination? I do think this does come down to hero equipment. My selections here are less than optimal, but like you guys, I have no ore. So we just make do with what we have. If it were upgraded, I absolutely would be using the earthquake boots instead of the rage vial. I think the royal champion definitely has a place in this strategy, but only if you have the rocket spear. If you don't, then I would sub the royal champion out for the minion prince every time. To add, I highly recommend saving your gems to get the rocket spear if you don't have it already. It is by far one of the strongest equipment in the game at the moment. If you do have the spear, then I would consider subbing out the barbarian king. But without it, I think the king is far superior. The first attack today is with the super archer clone blimp, but I'll be using my warden's tome on the blimp instead of with the Hydra. Now, I get asked all the time, how do I know when to tome my blimp for protection or just use a lava hound to tank for it? And that is a great question. Generally speaking, if the air defenses are on the outer parts of the base, a lava hound is not an option. The blimp will fly right by and be the target of the central defenses and traps, meaning the blimp will fall short of your intended target. In this case, we warden tome the blimp to the core. That way it's immune to any damage, and we will safely reach the target. The next question I get all the time is, what should I actually target with my super archers? Well, if you're using your tome to fly the blimp into the base, the town hall would be ideal, but not necessary. We generally are going to target as many of the heavy DPS defenses that will damage our dragons. Multi-target infernos are less of a concern, but we want to try and get as many scatters, expos, infernos, eagle, and air defenses as we can. When landing your blimp, try and avoid the open areas. They could be trapped with multiple giant bombs or spring traps, which would be a disaster. Instead, try and land them in the center of a building. That way there's no risk of traps. Simple. If we do go the route of lava hound tanking, sending the Hydra straight into heavy damage is also fine. Just use your warden tome. You can see this base has the air defenses on the outer areas, so I opted for the warden tomed blimp. The balloons were used in front to test for seeking air mines and also grab a couple of defenses in the process. Be mindful of the sweeper direction. Try and avoid flying your blimp directly into these when you can. Spell timing is pretty important too. You want to invis right before the blimp opens. If you invis late and there are defenses like the scatter shot around, they can destroy your archers. If the archers don't take care of the clan castle, generally I use the heroes to deal with those. You can see how much of the base the archers took down. Now our objective is to clear a path for our Hydra to take around the base so it doesn't split, and we keep all our troops together. I like to use the baby dragon to pick off some of the trash buildings left behind by the balloons that we used at the start. Then I like to place the king and queen on the outside of where the Hydra deployment will be, just to make sure none of the dragons or dragon riders get distracted and go around the outside. The royal champion comes in with the air troops. If you are using the rocket spear like I am here, you want to pop your RC early to get maximum spear value. The royal champion with low HP and taking fire may only get you 1 or 2 spear shots off, pretty much defeating the purpose of using that equipment. If you find your barbarian king not getting enough value around the outside, using the vamp stash with the spiky ball or rage vial can definitely help. It just comes down to what you have upgraded, because I know ore is very difficult to come by. Next up, I'll have a strategy for you to use if you don't have super archers available to you. So the main troops are largely unchanged, and again we have the option of running either the Tomed Blimp or tanked for by the Lava Hound from the prior strategy. You will however notice a change to my spell composition. Once your Blimp reaches the intended target, we spread the clone spells out, but still overlapping slightly with a rage spell. This will clone your balloons and wipe out the core of the base. This attack works much better on compact bases with heavy DPS in the core. If we can clone over lots of key defenses, it helps out significantly. The rest of the attack is pretty simple. If you manage to get good value from your balloons, Baby Dragon to funnel one side, Heroes funnel the outside, and then the Hydra troops in between. I know not everyone has the Rocket Spear for the Royal Champion, so Seeking Shield plus Life Gem is a decent alternative. In saying that though, I probably would not be using too much ore on the Life Gem, as it will be replaced either by when you get the Rocket Spear, or by the Hog Puppet plus Haste Vial combo at higher Town Halls.